Hello and welcome to Hoop Shooting the Breeze, our new monthly show all about the hoop shoots. Each month we'll be joined by past participants, Elks and volunteers and other friends of the hoop shoot as we talk about the hoop shoot and all of the fun things about it. I'm Makenna and I am the Youth Programs Associate at the Elks National Foundation. And joining me today is Madigan Moore, a past National Finalist and 2020 BackBoard member. Thanks for joining us, Madigan.
Thanks for having me, Makenna. It's so good to see you finally, like after all this crazy COVID stuff.
I know, it's nice to see your face after, I think it's been now, over a year since I saw you in 2019 at the National Finalist.
Lots of
emails, lots of video chats, but it's nice to have a real kind of in-person chat with you today.
I totally
agree. Yeah. So Madigan, you were a 2006 past national finalist. So you're national finalist as an 8 and 9-year-old. And I was just wondering, do you have a favorite memory of the hoop shoot?
And I like my hoop shoot memories. I treasure them. And part of it was, for me, basketball was a way for me to connect with my dad. He was a longtime basketball coach. So the Elks was kind of like one of my segues into basketball, if that makes sense. So we spent lots of time shooting free throws and working on my form. And then, so that was really precious to me. But then like when I was 8, making it to the Nationals was just incredible. And the Elks just gives you this great experience for you and your family. And when I competed at the Nationals, it was in Springfield, Massachusetts still. So that now they've moved it to Chicago. I remember really getting to see the Basketball Hall of Fame. I thought that was really neat. They took us all there, at all the contestants and the families. But really, I think my favorite memory was just meeting kids from all over the country and realizing that they had very different journeys from mine, because we're all individuals and we're all different, but yet we shared a common goal and, a commonality of we'd all worked really hard to get here. We were nervous and excited, but just like seeing that our differences, but then also that common goal come together is something that's really special. And I still, when I was at the BackBoard last year, saw that with the kids. So, yeah.
That's incredible. Yeah, I noticed that too, at the national finals, but also at the other levels of the competition I've been at, is that the sense of camaraderie among the kids, which is just so cool to see. Besides that, what else has stuck with you about your time in the hoop shoot? Any lessons?
It's been a lot. I think the hoop shoot really taught me a lot about bravery. Hard work, yes, like because they talked about building gritty kids, like that's and I talked about that last year at the finals, like how that has played through my journey in like academics and my long-term goals. But a story a lot of people don't know about the hoop shoot and myself is at the very first, I don't know what you call it, level. It wasn't even city. I was living in Rapid City, South Dakota at the time, but you had to compete in like a small subsection.
Yeah.
I practiced and I went to the gym and I saw all these kids there and I like just got stage fright and I just got scared. And I remember I was in a corner. I was crying. I was so nervous. I was like, I can't do this. And my dad was like, well, you should try. And I was like, no, I can't do this. And I can't do this. And then there was this mom who was there with her child. I still don't know who she was. I wish I did. She came up to me and she said, I don't know you, but you need to try. You're here and you need to try. And I was like, okay. And so I tried and then ended up that confidence built and I made it all to the Nationals that year. And if she had never encouraged me, I still don't know who she is. And she was just like an angel placed there at that point. And like, she encouraged me to take that chance. And so I think it's really that stuck with me is, don't limit yourself. I think a lot of times people don't give themselves enough credit and you don't realize that like just having that, like, there's a quote that says like 20 seconds of insane bravery and something good will come of it. And that I think is something the hoop shoot teaches you. So
that's incredible. I absolutely love the story. And the fact that that was your first experience was at a preliminary contest before the launch contest. and that, you know, the one parent just saying, you got to just do it, you know, you can do it. And that took you all the way to the finals. That's incredible. Really. Yeah. Man. Go ahead,
great.
sorry.
Yeah.
Man, that is so cool. I am also reminded, it kind of takes me, you know, the bravery, the courage. You talked about that in your 2020 BackBoard application a little bit. You said that, you know, you see when you, as a member of the BackBoard, the courage that the kids have, you know, to step up to the line, and you've kind of taken that into your own life to like step up to the line on challenges that you see. Can you talk a little bit about, you know, how that kind of mentality has affected you off the court, you know, in your studies, etc.?
And, you know, it's funny because it's really played in this year. So just oddly enough, like I talked about at the 2020 like awards ceremony, how like the grit and tenacity that basketball taught me, like really played into my pursuing medical school, because it's really just a long haul, and
of course,
not a marathon. It's a marathon. You really got to, you know, take it with ebbs and flows and realize you're going to fail and fall, but that you learn from those. And so I applied to medical school last year. I recently graduated from Augustana University, and I was planning on just going right into med school, and I did not get in this year. And so it was disappointing, and learning to deal with that disappointment is something I also learned in the Elks, because I only made it to nationals that one year. I got second at regionals the year after, and it was by one shot, and that was disappointing. But so this year, like, I had to learn from that disappointment. You know, I didn't get in, but then I was like, okay, I know a lot of really great physicians who also didn't get in their first year. And it's just competitive. And it's kind of like the Elks, like everyone works really hard. And it's not because you're not a good student or a good applicant or a good basketball player. It's because you're just competing at a very high level with everyone's got the same goal. So I was disappointed, but I had to step back, and I was like, I really don't have time to be disappointed because I got to go. So now I retook my MCAT and boosted I had an okay score, but now I really boosted it up. I took an MCAT prep course. Right now I'm working as a CNA, so a certified nursing assistant and medication aide at a facility here in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. And, you know, it's interesting because I feel like I'm where I'm supposed to be right now.
Yeah.
I still want that goal of becoming a doctor, but I'm realizing I'm learning stuff from the patients I'm working with. I'm able to make an impact during COVID and like be in the healthcare field. And so, yeah, I think it's just learning from that your failures are not final, and it's what you can learn from them, and that ultimately they do shape your character and help you to become a better individual. And I know that, like, failure in the Elks, or like when I didn't get where I wanted to go, again, reaffirm that toughness inside me and help me later in my basketball career. So the same goes for life as well. Yeah.
That's fantastic. I mean, and you know, you are just like the living embodiment of grit. You know, you didn't succeed on your first try, but you're coming back again on your second try, and, you know, learning from what you're doing now, which is incredible, especially during COVID, to, you know, be working in the healthcare field, which is just so awesome. And you're going to definitely take that grit and succeed. I know it.
I appreciate that. And just another thing about grit is, like, when you're developing it, it doesn't really feel like, feel like good. You know, you're like, oh, this is hard. Like,
yeah.
I'm tired. My learning curve is like this. Like, I want to be good at something and just be calm. But like, and then once you hit that learning curve and kind of plateau out, you're like, okay, like, I realize I'm at a new level now. So.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. You hit the grit growth curve, right? And you
like, at the beginning of the summer, like when I started my new job, I come home just like exhausted because I was like, you're learning all the time. So
that's incredible. Yeah. Oh man. Do you have any other advice for hoop shooters, past, present, or future?
I think it's just really like, you always hear like believing in yourself and not doubting yourself, and just give yourself a shot. And that's stuff we've all talked about here. But I think it's really important that you realize that's a daily decision. Like you create good habits, and a lot of you guys know this just by like when you go to the gym and practice your shooting form, and it's just consistency over and over again. And that, for me, I have learned is you have to make it a consistent practice and a conscious effort. And for some people it comes easier than others, but like there's going to be times when you approach a challenge and you'll question yourself and you'll say, can I really do this? But you just have to remind yourself, I've done hard things. I can do hard things. I've worked hard to get here. I deserve this shot just as much as everybody else. And so I think just being your own best friend and believing in yourself and reminding yourself that no matter what happened in the past, like you can take this shot and you've worked hard to get here. So, yeah.
That's perfect advice. I think everyone can remind themselves of that if they're a hoop shooter, and on and off the court as well. I think that's something everybody should remember, especially in times like these when we're feeling a little down on ourselves. So thank you for that. Anything else you'd like to share with us today?
I just wanted to say thank you to the Elks, and I've thanked them before, but this program is great. It gives a lot to not only kids, but many other people just in our country as well. And I think just really I appreciate what they have done for me. And I know that a lot of other people appreciate what they've done for you. And just to take what you have gotten from the Elks and then pay that gift forward, because there's really no way to like give it back. So yeah, thank you.
Oh, thanks so much for sharing, Madigan.
Yeah, thank you for having
me. It's been great talking to you. Before we wrap up here, I actually have some exciting news to share myself. We are launching the Service Scorecard, which is a virtual engagement opportunity that combines service projects, the spirit of volunteerism that is important to the Elks, and kind of the scavenger hunt. And this is something that we're envisioning as, for everybody to partake in, for the chance to win a $100 donation to the charity of their choice. And, we want to see participation from everybody, from hoop shooters, past, present, and future, hoop shooter alums, Elks. Anyone's welcome to join. Madigan, do you have the theme for the month?
I do. So October's theme is off the court. And so this will encompass service projects. So based on being active with sports, just wellness, like activity in your community. So be sure to check out. The link is enf.elks.org/service scorecard. So you can get more info there and learn how you can participate as well.
Yeah, exactly. And of course, as is, common in these times, we're asking people to participate as is safe for their communities and for themselves. But we'll announce the winners of each month here on Hoop Shooting the Breeze. So be sure to tune in each first Tuesday of the month, and we'll be announcing those winners. And in the meantime, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Leave a like if you liked this content, and let us know what you thought in the comments below. So until next time, best wishes.